Now it's on.
Okay, now it's on.
Yes.
All right, hello.
Hi. So we're here to do another video. And what's our video about this time?
The first negotiations in our relationship that we created around polyamory choices. Something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, to that effect.
Okay, I'm having a hot flash right now, FYI. So I'm not doing too well. I'm hot. I'm sweaty.
She's sweaty. So we're also covering having a relationship when you're over 40.
Yeah. Other topics that we can
Polyamory.
look into.
Over 40.
Yay. Welcome to our world. It's sweaty, but it's sexy.
Yeah, I still think she's hot.
I am very hot.
Uh-huh. You're a hottie. In fact, I even texted her earlier and I said that I am laying in bed with a hottie.
Mm-hmm.
It took her like 40 minutes to realize.
To realize that you sent me a message. Because I just didn't want to look at my phone.
Okay, we should probably get to the topic. Right?
Yep. Okay.
So, negotiations, right? So for me, not being used to a poly relationship, Hope spent a lot of time explaining to me that it was like a buffet and that we could pick and choose what we want.
Yes. Not like a human buffet, but a choice buffet. Just to clarify.
Okay.
Oops, she didn't know that. 4 months later, she's like, oh, I thought it was a human buffet. Oops.
Okay, so now that just changed my whole perspective. No, I understood.
She knew. She knew.
Yeah. And I liked that whole idea of the relationship being what we made it.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get used to it, though, because I had all these preconceived notions about being poly. And do you remember what my biggest thing to get over was?
Wait, no, I don't. About dating other people or about being poly, period?
About being poly, period. Well,
the biggest thing that stuck out to me was that you didn't understand we could have a long-term committed relationship.
That's exactly right. I was stuck on that for a while. I didn't see how that could be on the buffet of choice. So, yeah, so then we started talking about, well, when would we date? Or how would we date? Who would we date? Yeah, how do we go about doing this? And I didn't know how to go about doing it. It's like, okay, I'm on Plenty of Fish and I message someone or someone messages me. At what point do I say, hey, I have a girlfriend, but she's totally cool with us flirting. And in fact, she wants to see all the texts. And not only that, but we date together at this point. So then also bringing someone else in.
Right. And I think that the way I presented it was kind of just going over different choices. Like, if we wanted to, we could date people separately. So I could go out on a date and she could go out with somebody else and we wouldn't know about it. And we don't have to share it with each other, or we do share it with each other. These are all things that are negotiable. Those are things that you figure out what's important to you, what feels good to you, what doesn't feel good to you, and you talk about it. So anything really goes as long as you can compromise and both feel good about it.
Yeah. So I do like that. And that means also that it's not like one and done. Like, you do it one time, you sit down, you discuss things, come up with some decisions for boundaries right now, and then you hold each other to them for the rest of the relationship. Like, things change, and I like the idea that we can have a state of the relationship talk, and then discuss where we are with things and how we feel about them.
Yeah, we do have a lot of those state of the relationship talks, but we'll get into that in a second. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. First of all, we decided that what we were comfortable with. No, Honey Biscuit. Sorry. Biscuit, stop. Stop. She's barking at the door. So we decided that we were both comfortable with dating other women together.
Mm-hmm.
You did go on one date in the first month or so that we were together with someone else, right?
First couple weeks.
Couple weeks, okay. But that was because the date had already been arranged before we met, and even that we talked about. And
it
honey biscuit.
It didn't even really feel like a date. It was really just more like making a friend.
Come here, honey. Come here. Either way, it didn't bother me because that was, early on in our relationship, and it was something that she had committed to, and I would not want her to flake out on people for me. And God forbid I be the reason why she doesn't meet someone that she really enjoys spending time with. That would be not my intention. So we agreed to date other people to date other people together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started viewing each other's online flirtations. And we even had to have a sit down and talk about, like, when do we tell them? And my thing is right off the bat, just it's in my profile that I'm polyamorous. The details are not anyone else's information until we get to have real conversations, though. So I don't say like how many people I'm sleeping with or dating or whatever on a profile, but I'll get into that when I actually talk to a person on the phone. So that's the way I do it.
Yep. And that's kind of the way I do it too.
Yeah. So we had the first connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it with you? You made the first connection?
Yeah, I think I'm ahead of you. I think I've brought more in than you have.
Brought more in?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds terrible.
I know. I'm saying it just because it sounds terrible.
Oh, okay.
I'm just joking. Like, I'm seriously just joking. But yeah, I'm a better choice of character.
Yeah, because I just, I'll just sleep with everybody. No. Yeah, so why don't you share that story?
The first person we dated?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's someone I know that's very cool. She's very cool. She might even be watching this video. Yeah, we dig you, right? You're amazing. And, I had been on a few dates with her before I met Hope. And, not like on a regular basis though. And, so I thought it would be a good place to kind of put our toes in the water, so to speak. So we went on a date with her.
Yeah.
And
we went and played pool.
Yeah. And yeah. And then someone else, we went on like a weekend date.
Yeah, but first of all, the first one, and we're not saying any names because we didn't get their permission to, but you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one, there was more to say about that because the negotiations, like we talked about, we asked her about her STI status and to show proof of that. And if she couldn't, that was fine, because then if we wanted to have sex, we would just use protection. But that was it's part of our protocol that we do that.
And Hope is amazing at that stuff. Like, I didn't really know how to negotiate any of that stuff. And here I'd been unethically slutty for like a year. But Hope is just so cool. But she's just like, you're talking, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, yeah. And if you want to not use latex, then we're going to have to see some records.
Yeah, right.
And just gets right to the point, but in a way that's cool. So.
And then also we negotiated how our first date was going to look. So I asked her, Santana, are you comfortable with PDA? Are you comfortable with me, touching her, putting my arm around her, or kissing, or whatever? Like, we wanted to go through all of those things because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, and I want to know where the boundaries are for the people that I care about.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and the date went well. And
very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
And we quickly came back home with her, and we enjoyed getting to know her in many ways.
Very cool person.
Yeah.
And we still hang out with her.
Yes, and we hope to have more dates.
Mm-hmm. And she's poly too.
Yes.
And we like her partner as well.
We just met her partner, was it a couple days ago?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew her partner. I didn't.
Yeah.
I met her partner.
So,
and I really liked her partner.
Yeah. So we hung out as kind of like two couples.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then the next person that we met was together, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I knew her a little longer because we've been in some of the same groups for a while.
Oh, is that why?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On Facebook. But I started flirting with her, and I thought this is someone who is really awesome, and I would love to share the experiences with her with Hope.
I like that. I think that's one of my favorite parts about being poly is that I am in love with someone who is in love with me being happy. And rather than hoarding love and hoarding happiness and hoarding joy and excitement, we both, when we experience joy and happiness and excitement outside of each other, we want to share it with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
yeah,
the same can be spread through the people that we're dating. Like, the deeper the friendship gets with them, the deeper the caring gets with them, then just more love is shared to them. And when I get excited about something, or I, have loving feelings about those people, I want to hear from them and find out how their day was. And I genuinely get excited when they're having awesome times. Yeah. So I think that's what the big difference is for me, in my experiences of being poly and monogamous anyway. That sense of sharing. I like it.
Yeah, and so far, I've really liked it as well. Like, the first time I wondered, would I feel jealousy? How would I feel, being intimate and seeing Hope with someone and stuff like that. And I really didn't have a problem with it at all. Like, I liked it, in fact. And we work well together.
Yes, we do.
We kind of do a good cop, bad cop. And Hope's the bad cop. She is so mean. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm the main cop. Mm-hmm. Are you serious? I take things literally. I don't know. Okay. We do have fun. We do have fun together. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I kind of feel like we're a team sometimes, but anyway, I've noticed that it's dating someone else together. I don't know. I like it as far as I know that I always have the connection with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to explore a connection with another person, and I don't know exactly what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Kind of. We spent a lot of time with the second person. We dated her online more so, which I think was a little deeper of an experience than you had before. I don't know if you want to talk about how you used to be more shut off.
Yeah, I was kind of slutty, but I mostly slept with people, and I didn't want a relationship at all. So I made it clear, like, I didn't lead anyone on, but I was more of a, okay, I'm gonna text you the next time we're gonna hit it.
Yeah, so
and yeah,
that's a difference between the two of us that we kind of needed to negotiate as well, because I'm not comfortable with sleeping with people that I don't know on some form of intimate level. Like, I need to know something about you. I need you to show me some sort of vulnerability, compassionate side. Like, I don't know. There's something about that. I don't have to fall deeply in love with you, but to know that we match on some level. And Santana didn't have a problem with no matching, just fucking.
Yeah.
And so we compromised on that, you know, and as we were long distance dating online, the second person that we absolutely adore.
Yes.
I think I kind of was able to show her how to infuse some more caring and sharing more of herself with someone else, and developing a little bit deeper of a knowing and relationship with the person.
Yeah, because I had always been someone who I would share with my partner, but if I was in a relationship, then I didn't share. And so yeah, I've changed somewhat.
Yeah. And then we're dating 2 other people right now.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't actually the third one we met a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago.
And we had our first in-person date. Well, we met in person to talk and see if we'd like each other. Then we did. And now we had our first in-person date last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping to see her again soon.
Yeah.
We really like her. Her energy is happy and positive and bubbly and whew.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good description. Whew.
Okay, so the funny thing is that a lot of you people watching this might not be poly and might be monogamous and be thinking of, oh my god, there's all these things that could go wrong, and jealousies and all of these things. Honestly, like, the hardest thing we've been dealing with is scheduling. Like, there's been no, like, hard feelings or jealousies or anything like that.
No, that's not true. I mean, not no hard feelings. We did have an experience with one of the people that we dated where she expressed to us some difficult feelings about dates we had with someone else.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I wouldn't say that was a problem, but I didn't want this to be like some sort of fantasy where everything just always feels wonderful, because it doesn't. But yeah. I think I felt an even deeper appreciation for her when she was able to come to us honestly and say how she felt about us dating someone else while we were waiting to meet her in person. I mean, it just made me like her even more.
Me too. I love the honesty and the vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that she was able to talk about it. She brought it up. We all talked about it, and we worked it out. Like, it's okay to have feelings,
right? It's
and
okay to have feelings that aren't always positive, and to ask for reassurance.
Yeah, to just talk it out and communicate honestly and openly.
Yeah.
We had to do that once. I came to you about a post that you had made, and is like, I kept trying to have it not bother me, but then I realized that was an old behavior, and so I let myself feel it, and then I wondered, okay, so where do these feelings come from, and why am I feeling this way? And so I got to the root of it and thought about it, and then I brought it up to Hope, and I just laid it out. And it wasn't a conversation of the type that I'm used to having in relationships, which is where the other, where you blame each other and you say, you make me feel this way, and all of that stuff. What we're used to saying,
You don't do that with me. Nobody does that with me. You're responsible for your own emotions, and I'm responsible for mine. That doesn't mean that I don't support you and give love and attention to when you're feeling something, but they are yours. I don't make anybody feel anything. I'm not that powerful.
Yeah. And that's something that as a mostly having had experience being monogamous person that I like, is that I've grown a lot and understanding where my feelings come from, tracking them down, and then seeing them for what they are and that they're mine to work on, my own self work. But that also doesn't mean that I have to do it in silence and everything. Like I tell Hope about everything.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that.
Sometimes I might go a little too far. Like when we were over the third person's house, and she was asking us questions, and she said to us, she said, "What are your fears?"
Oh yeah,
right? And I fucking go way too deep and give up way too much of myself and honesty.
It was okay.
But I let it out. I was like, okay, something that I'm working on in my fear is that, I'm maybe not as experienced as someone else we might sleep with, or like in bed and in the poly world, and that they'll offer Hope something that she doesn't get from me, and then she'll like them more than me, and blah blah blah, and I'm going on, and then I said, but I understand this comes from my own feelings of insecurity, and I'm working on it, and if it were to happen, then I need to be happy for Hope, that she would be happy, and find happiness with another person. I went through that whole thing, the whole fucking thing, right, with someone who I felt kind of that way about, because that was the fear I had about us dating her.
Because she had more experience in the polyamory.
Yeah. And then, so I let that all out, and then, Hope, what did you say?
I don't remember.
It was like, I'm afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snakes. I'm afraid of snakes and suffering.
Yeah. And then the girl who asked us says, yeah, I'm afraid of sharks.
So I thought this was a great flip of our natural ways of doing things, because normally I'm always the deep one, and I always go too far, and I bring the whole party down.
So she says snakes, she says sharks, and I'm like, can I take that back?
It was great, and you were welcome to share that. It was fine.
And in the end, though, like, I'm joking around about taking it back. Cause, no, it was my fear. It was on my mind. And these were the people that I would be going through this process with.
So, and yeah, it mattered most that you said it to us.
Yeah, so they were the people that I needed to voice it to.
Yeah. So.
But it is funny.
It is.
So next time anyone ever freaking says that, I'm not going first. I'm not going first, no. And I'm going to have something ready to go. Like, I'm afraid of heights. There we go.
Oh my God. So let's get back into that thing that you had brought up earlier that I wanted to table until later, which was, what do you call it when we have relationship status? What talks?
State of the relationship talks.
State of the relationship talks. Mm-hmm. How often would you say these happen, or is it just organic?
I think it's organic. And I think it's like a snake shedding its skin when our relationship grows, or when we grow, and then it just organically happens, and then we discuss things.
I really like your use of analogies. You're very good at it.
Thank you. See, now I just want to kiss you.
Aww.
What were we talking about?
State of the relationship. So they happen now and then, and there's no rule about when. She's really good about, mostly she brings them up, but she's really good about timing. Like, I know that some people have shitty timing. Her timing is pretty awesome, because she waits until, like, I'm in a quiet space, I'm not busy with a bunch of other things, like, we'll just be laying in bed watching TV and she says, can I talk to you about something? And then I can turn the TV off, and then I can turn and look to her, and we can have, like, eye contact and heart-to-heart feels, or sometimes I lay on her chest and we just hold each other while we talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so that to me feels really good because we're connecting while we're talking about something that puts either of us in a vulnerable place. And she's really good at coming to me, and I'm good as well at this, is just like holding our own space. I've described it before where with her it feels like she's this wonderful orb, this bubble, and I'm a bubble, and we're both secure and safe and strong in our little bubbles, but the bubbles just mesh together every once in a while and we can just interlock, but we're still in our bubble, but we share space together. It's like this soul connection. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's not like an effort or anything. Like if I hear that tone in her voice that she wants to talk about something, everything else can be shut down and we can have that time. And so those are the best conversations because that's when I get to hear how she's feeling and thinking deeply about various things that we're experiencing together or something she's going through within herself, and I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there is a question or a problem, she bring it up or I'll bring it up, and then we can just both work through it together. And it's never felt like an attack. It's always like, this is what I'm feeling over here, and I see you over there. Come get in my bubble with me and work this through with me. You know, it's not like, phew, I'm mad at you. It's never anything like that.
We never take it personal.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't worry anymore about having to have everything perfectly in my head to say to her. Because in past relationships, I felt like a lawyer, like trying to get the legalese done in my head and foreseeing all the different ways it could be taken badly when I don't mean it that way.
Right.
Right. Because sometimes people just take what you're saying as if you're trying to hurt them or with malintent.
Mm-hmm.
And something I love about Hope is she never does that. You know, if she doesn't understand, she asks questions and we talk it through. But if I have crappy wording on something, she doesn't automatically take offense or take it the worst way possible. Yeah, she doesn't make it about her. You know, she keeps it about us or about me as far as what I'm talking about. And I love that.
I think that's a really important aspect to any communication is not when someone's talking to you, don't make it about you. If they're talking about deep feelings that they have, even if they're saying you, take a breath, have some compassion, and know that they cannot be talking about you, because all they know is themselves. Whether they acknowledge it or not, they're actually talking about themselves. And, yeah, like it's not mine to take on. If she were to even come to me and say, I'm feeling jealous about X, Y, and Z, then we could sit there with compassion and look at why she's feeling those things. But I'm not going to get defensive and be like, well, I didn't want you to feel that way. And I told you everything I was going to do. It's like, I don't live like that anymore. I had somebody come up to me the other day and try and do that shit with me. And I was like, I straight up said to him, I don't live like that anymore. I don't accept people speaking to me that way.
Yeah.
And it was like the best thing. And they were just like, well, woo, you don't, huh? And I was like, no, bye. Felt great.
Yeah.
So our negotiations, back to the topic of negotiations, they will continue.
Mm-hmm. Throughout our whole relationship.
Yeah.
Like, let's say we're together until we're 80. We're still going to have negotiations.
Hell yeah, we are.
I mean, it's the way I like to think about it is if you stop having negotiations, you're stopping and stagnating the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, you have to check in and you have to let it grow and
biscuit stop.
Look at things. Yeah. So for like right now, I'm the one who's more apprehensive about dating on our own. And
I keep encouraging her to give it a try.
Mm-hmm. And at some point, I probably will become more okay with it. But, you know, I am learning about all of this, and trusting it takes time. You know, I mean, I do trust Hope. You know, like, she's never lied to me. She, even if it's something I don't want to hear, I know she would tell me. She would talk to me. It would be a conversation. But you know, this is my first polyamorous relationship, and I really do like Hope a lot, and I want to give us the best foundation and chance at everything. And so I don't want to push myself before I'm not ready, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like 10 years from now. Yeah, and Hope's going to be like, so are you ready yet?
And I'm not going to, and that's another thing for me. That's a boundary I have now. I'm not ever going to live like that again. I did in my last relationship. I told her I was polyamorous, and there was a lot of fear coming from the other side. And I did this to myself. I said, well, then I will just be patient, and I will show you that you are safe with me, and that I am not out to hurt you or anyone else, and that these actions and polyamorous behaviors can all be done safely and calmly and peacefully. And in that time, nothing ever happened. There was no expansion. There was no growth. I felt suffocated, and not just in polyamory, but in all ways. And I will never, ever allow that again. And so that's a conversation her and I may have. If I hit a point where I'm like, I really feel like we need to grow in our experiences and not just date people together, you know, we'd have to talk about that and negotiate it. And that negotiation might look like, hey, I'm ready to start dating, you know, separately. And she could say, well, I'm not ready yet. And I'd say, well, we need to compromise. How about we have one date each? And if she's not comfortable with that, okay, I'm going to have one date, and you tell me how that feels. And it doesn't mean, you know, and then we could set limits within that. Like, this date is just a date. It is going out to a movie, or it's going out to coffee and a meal, or mini golfing with someone else. And then I come home and tell you how that was if you want to hear about it. And then we go from there. Like, that's my kind of slow baby steps, but I need to see some progress. I have, you know, I'm all about growth. So that's just how I do things.
And I do see myself probably being able to grow into that. But, you know, it has been like, what, 4 months now we've been dating?
Yeah, I think tomorrow makes 4 months, right?
I think so. So I think we've been steadily growing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can see myself getting to that point just over time. You know, but you know, you don't like change overnight. You know. Like,
no, yeah, and I'm not even pushing it. We're having so much fun dating people together, and this in itself is like an experience to enjoy. Getting to know people. I mean, to me, it's precious because we're dating people together, and her and I are two different people who like different things, and now we're trying to meet people that can hold the two different things we both like in one person.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I kind of wonder what it's like to be them. Don't you? Because we're so different, and they like us both.
I have been them.
Yeah.
I have been the one dating polyamorous couples, yes.
That are really different?
Yeah.
I never have.
It's great because, I mean, I don't know. I don't like just one type of person. And a lot of people don't just like one type of person. You can't expect one. That's why I like polyamory, because you can't expect one person to be your everything.
Yeah.
So.
Is there anything else we should talk about?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember. My hot flash stopped.
Yay! Hot flash has gone away.
Yes. So if you have any questions about anything that we've had to say today, please post it in the comments. And I know this was sort of a long video, but we're being told that people appreciate the videos and are learning a lot from them. So we're going to keep sharing them.
Yeah. So like Hope said, if you have any questions, just tell them and we'll hit base on them. Some future topics that we might be covering is like, remember we disagreed and we talked about how to negotiate that, because like you aren't going to always agree with your partner on something. And so we see marriage a little differently, and so we talked about that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage. I like the way we handled the whole thing of
the conversation itself. Yeah. There's things we don't see eye to eye on. That's all right.
Yeah. And I think the funny thing about all of this is, even if you're a monogamous person, I think our videos will help you, because it's really just about having a relationship with someone.
Good communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.